eventually it gets to pay off. So yeah, we're just in the normal approval process. So typical, if I would say, I had a meeting with the city today to look at a few things. Just normal. So but I'm excited about it, and because those projects for me, here in the US, you can easily just buy properties. If I have several we've bought and we're buying, but to build from scratch, it's a legacy project because it begins to change people's perspective about our people. A lot of the rooms I enter now, sometimes they're only black, and there's the typical stereotype, that comes in. Either can you afford it? Are you sure? Because a black guy, you sure you can afford it? And you get to see all that stereotype. But we're gradually breaking all that barrier and all that mindset as we continue to grow. And for me, that's why it's important what we do, because we must, as a people, get it right. There's a whole global change about Nigerians, and some of us don't know that this is a bit spiritual. For the first time in history, how Fela literally died to make Afrobeat known. Right? Today now, the whole world is crazy about Afrobeat. Right? Today now, the whole world is crazy about movies. Literally, I go to different parts and you see people say, "Oh, I love Akia Popo." And you say Nigerian, you say, Akia Popo. Do you know? So our music is doing well, our movies is doing well. It's a signal that we are in a season that if we'll do what is right, we are going to have a global impact. And I've seen China go through it. I've seen India go through it. India is almost breaking through now. When we were all growing up, if you remember, what comes to mind when they say China? Fake products, right? What comes to mind when they say India? Magic. You remember when they told us there was a match that they scored 99? That's a myth. Actually, it didn't happen. So... But today now, is that the opinion you have of China? No. Today now, China is becoming world power, is chasing US to take over the world. Today, you see most tech CEOs as Indians, you're seeing Indians as tech guys. And I keep telling the world that I see that happen to Nigerians. Today people see us as scammers, and sometimes we see ourselves doing that, But I believe that give us some time with the right conversation that we're having like this, right? We're going to change the narrative about how people see us. Just give me a second. I see us being at a position to change the perspective of people, and I think the good news is that we won't just change it for Nigerians, we'll change it for the entire black race, because as you know, 1 out of every 4, or some people say 5 black person on earth is a Nigerian.
Everywhere.
Yeah. 1 out of every 5. So if Nigeria change, then the world perception about blacks and racism is going to change. And I believe the change will not just start with the government, it will start with us as a people. And the first change has to be financial freedom. right? And that's the conversation. It has to be financial freedom. Our parents and grandparents did their best, right? They make sure we went to school. Some of them were first graduate in their families. Some of us are the first graduate in our own family. But it's a testament to the hard work our parents went through. But unfortunately, the mindset was we needed to be career people. We needed to be professional, and that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. But we need to take it to the next level, which is the fact that, like Warren Buffett said, nobody becomes financially free by working. Right? So we have to take it a step further. How do we either own businesses or... Okay, thank you. So how do we either own businesses or work our way towards investing in businesses so that we can have financial freedom, which is very, very critical. Hello, sir. Welcome. Please grab a chair. Have a seat. Welcome. So it's very, very important. By the way, you can pick any of the books. We're just reviewing the books. It's very, very important to begin to have conversation like we're having. And I believe the change is it's going to start with smaller meetings like this, where we're just talking to each other and helping each other understand how to begin to reposition our finances into the future. If you're not careful, if you enter the American system, it's just a rat race, right? And when you look at how the system is wired, it's even against professionals. As a professional, my tax bracket is 40% or more, right? As a business person, my tax bracket is lower, and I can write off everything in taxes, right? Including the house I live, the cars I buy, everything I can write it off. I just got a multi-million-dollar house in Houston I'm moving into in August. And it's my company owning it. It's just written off, right? But if it's under my name, maybe I work so hard, I save that entire money, right? The amount of tax I'm going to pay, first of all, right? Because it's an income. It's seen as an income. So these are some of the things I think that we need to start having conversation to help how we see money, wealth, investment in this part of the world. And I think as we begin to have that conversation, it goes a long way in changing our financial status. So let's start by knowing each other. I love to know the people I'm meeting. So it's a ladies first, so we're going to start with the lady in the room. So tell us your name, what you do for a living, and if you pick anything of interest to you in the book, you can share with us as well.
My name is Olamide Oltayo. I'm a police officer.
Police officer? Are we safe?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still scouting through the book.
Okay.
Once I come around, I will ask my questions.
No problem. You're welcome. Yes. I suppose it's your husband. Women are the ones that make you know who is their husband. There's a vibe they give. You just know this is the husband. Yeah. Well, go ahead.
David Okawota is my name. I'm a medical medicine.
Are you a nurse? Are you a doctor? Huh?
Doctor.
You're a doctor.
Yes, sir.
So what's the combination like a policewoman and a medical doctor? You both are saving lives anyway.
Yeah. So I think there was something I was looking at, something venture. I saw that something on the page here. I was going to ask you about that.
Okay.
Venture capitalism or something?
Okay.
So I was, okay.
Yes.
So I was going to ask you
About venture capitalism.
Yes.
Okay, I will address it once we're done introducing ourselves. Maybe that will be the first point I'll address.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my name is Fumini Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I do real estate too, but the investor aspect of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here in the US?
Here in the US.
Okay.
Some in Nigeria too. I do much of partnership.
Oh, nice.
Most of my partnership, they are based in the US.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
So I've been your fan for many years. So
I guess you brought them.
I was one that brought them. Yeah, we are good friends. So yeah. So it will be a value to get to know you physically and to to do business together.
No problem.
Yeah.
It's really nice meeting you
So
guys.
I don't know if we can buy these books at the hard copy. I need
Yes,
to get the
yes,
hard
yes.
copies.
You
Yeah.
will be able to buy, and definitely the $200 of the e-copy can be removed from this.
Oh wow!
Because
wow.
naturally, if you're buying the hard copy, you can get the e-copy and the audio, the thing we send to
Oh
you.
wow! That's
So
good.
yes, you'll be able to get them. Yes, and I'll even sign them for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Augustine Ekwegbe. I'm trying to find my footing here in the US.
Okay.
I came from Nigeria. I'm an
Recently.
entrepreneur and a politician, a contemporary politician at that.
Okay.
I'm into property management and renewable energy.
Back in Nigeria or here?
Back in Nigeria.
Okay. How long did you relocate here?
I just came in April.
Oh, you're new.
Yeah.
You okay? You're welcome.
So I heard about the program and I said, let me go see for myself.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
My name is Enoma Ehike. I work with Penske, a coalition, as a coalition technician. In a few
What
years.
does collision technician mean?
We build trucks for
Okay.
Penske. Yeah.
Kapinski?
Penske.
What are they?
Penske, it's a truck
Big
company.
trucks.
Oh,
Bigger trucks.
Okay.
So we build the body of the trucks.
wow. So, practically you build cars.
Not really the cars.
Trucks.
Bigger trucks.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
build
big
trucks.
bodies.
That's good. Okay, nice meeting you. Yes, do you want to talk about anything there? Does anything pique you?
Nothing yet, except that I find it fascinating the written, the author 37 other books.
42 actually now.
Okay.
So as at the time of this, yes, 37, now 42 books.
That's interesting.
Yes, done a lot of my shares in terms of writing books. Okay, yeah, so venture capitalism, I think I talked about in the book as one of the businesses one can do, which is, it basically means you're partnering with other entrepreneurs. So rather than doing, because let's be honest, not all of us can run business. You know, and I've always said it, as much as we keep saying, nobody can become rich, and that's the honest truth. A lot of times it's difficult for us as professionals to accept that, but that's the honest truth, that nobody can become financially free by working for any organization. It just can't happen. And what do we mean by that? We mean that at some point you need to retire, right? And upon your retirement, what happens is you cannot be earning whatever it is you are earning from your job, right? And the other challenge, we call it the law of diminishing return. So at that point, even if, please let me check the door, somebody's there. So at that point, even if you are maybe trying to get another job, because you are aging, nobody, okay, thank you. At that point, because you are aging, even if you really genuinely want to help your income, you can't earn like you were earning when you are of this age, right? And real financial freedom means your ability to still be rich even if you don't work anymore. That's really what financial freedom is. So if Warren Buffett stopped working today, he's still not going to be poor. In fact, he's still going to be richer every day. Same thing with Bill Gates, same thing with Dangote, same thing with all these people. So every one of us have to work our way to a point where even if we stop working, right, we can still make money. And I realized that it's when you have this mindset that you now realize you even love working more. With all sense of humility, if I stop working today, I mean, I would never be poor till I die, and at least for my children as well, based on the assets I've built. But guess what? I enjoy working. I enjoy adding value. I enjoy, just making sure I start a business. We employ people. We, listen to stories of people whose life has been transformed through what we do, right? So today I work not because if I don't work I'm hungry, right? I work average of 12 to 16 hours a day, right? Not of course physical lifting anything. I read books. I attend to a lot of documents, about businesses and all of that. But by the grace of God, that is where you and I want to be. But venture capitalism is not to say I may not even like running business as it were, but I can meet him and he likes to run business, and I can buy, at the early phase of his business, own some equity in his company at the early phase. Here in America, it's proven to be one of the best way people have become rich. For example, I don't know whether anybody has broken that record. As at last count, Jeff Bezos' father became the richest man in the world by buying shares of another company. So when Jeff Bezos was starting, he needed capital for his business and had to convince his father to pool all his retirement savings. And of course, the father had to get equity in the business for that. And years later, it was worth billions, of dollars. So that's more of what venture capitalism is. Of course, what the father invested may even be, I don't know the amount now, maybe $100,000. No, I think it was $300,000. So $300,000, that was 1995 or so. $300,000 to now be worth, at least over $5 billion. You and I know in 30 years.
Yes.
That's ridiculous. Right? But that's really what venture capitalism is. And a lot of people have mastered that. Even it's one of the secret of Jeff Bezos. The only difference is that Jeff Bezos also now take control of the business and runs the business. Most people don't know that Jeff Bezos did not start Tesla. Right? He only came in after him and his partner, he started, X? It was a payment platform, merged with PayPal, right? When they sold PayPal for, I think, over $2 billion, he now had enough money, put some of those money into Tesla, put some of those money to borrowing company, which other company does he own? Starlink,
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. So he just now started putting all that money into all these different businesses. But what he did was to also put enough to take over the management, right? So he put enough into Tesla and became the largest shareholder of Tesla, and then started running Tesla personally himself. But there are people who don't take over. Warren Buffett is an example. Warren Buffett can invest so much in other businesses to a point of owning the majority shares, but he doesn't run the day-to-day. In fact, Warren Buffett's office, there are barely 12 people in his main office, right? The only thing he does is he influences who now becomes the MD CEO of those companies he has shares in when they are voting and all of those things. But he doesn't do the work of saying, I want to come and run day-to-day running of a business. So that's part of what venture capitalism is about. So it's another way of building wealth where you're just saying, hey, I'll look for good companies. They are still small. I'll start, buying shares in them. And it's a major big business here in America. I'll start buying shares in them. Big also in Nigeria, because a lot of US companies are actually going VC, we call them VCs. A lot of VCs are going to Nigeria and they are buying and investing in all these companies. We know what happened to Paystack, how Stripe invested $200 million, and same thing happened to this HR company. What's their name? They help people with jobs. Wakana, is it? What was that? Not Wakana. Even Wakana got VC too.
Not LinkedIn.
Yeah? No. There's the Nigerian
Jobberman.
Jobberman. Same thing happened to Jobberman. Same thing happened to Andela. Right? Same thing happened to... Now, all these companies, by the way, are now worth billions of dollars, right? By the way. But a lot of foreign companies here in the US went to Nigeria and started putting their money into those businesses, right? So it's one of the strategies of building wealth. It can be a choice for you, but of course, there's my advice, and is in all my books, particularly these ones. So these 6 books are more focused on wealth creation, money, and real estate. One of the key things I stated there is before you do any type of investment, get the knowledge first. Because what we do more as people of color, we're too much in a hurry to just put our money, right? And so we end up putting our money into something we don't really understand. And by the time we just hear one gossip, okay, we've run out of the business. You know why? Because we don't even know what we were doing in the first place. I hope this makes sense at all. You know, so when we hear stories of there's something about to happen in Nigeria, I want my money, or shares of Bitcoin has come down. I didn't want to do Bitcoin, or something. But why not study about cryptocurrency generally, so that you understand it and know whether it's the kind of business you want to do or not? Why not study about real estate generally, so that you've mastered and understand what real estate really is, and you just are not blown. You know, one of someone was sharing this story with me. She is into paper money, and so she gets different people to invest with her. So a particular person invested $1 million with her, and she decided to put the person's money into Tesla shares. And before you know it, Tesla shares went like this, you know, literally plummeted. In fact, it was $2 million. So the $2 million reduced to 1.3 million. In fact, the man called her, he was literally shaking. Hey, you are the one that told me, And she was like, calm down, just give this thing. I am the expert here. I said, no. So you know what? Okay, this is what we'll do. I'm withdrawing $1 million back. Right? I'll leave you with the remaining 300,000. You will not believe it. In a space of 5 months or so, from the time you withdrew the $1 million, Tesla shares rose back up, and the 300,000 turned to $2.7 million. The same man called and was like, why did you allow me to withdraw that? Why did you allow me to withdraw it? Why? But that's what happened when, again, you put your mind to things you don't understand. Because if he had studied the capital market, he will know that that's how Tesla does. Right? Tesla can rise like this, suddenly boom, it's coming down. But don't be deceived, it still come back up. Right? But again, if you don't study what you put your money into, you will always be moved by the winds, by story, by media, and at the end of the day, you never build the kind of wealth you're supposed to build. I hope it makes sense. Okay? Yes, who else wants to comment, or question, or contribution?
You spoke about crypto. What's your take about cryptocurrencies?
So, my teaching, and I share in the Billionaire Habits book, is that there are 3 types of investment. There's what we call high risk. I told them anybody should be allowed in. I don't know what to keep calling each time. Just give me this. So my teaching says that there are 3 types of investment. There's high risk investment. An example of high risk is where crypto falls. So a crypto investment is a high risk investment. Forex is a high risk investment. However, my argument is you shouldn't necessarily not do them. Just divide your money into those 3 classes: high risk investment, mid risk investment, and low risk. So mid-risk investment include real estate, paper money, which is buying of shares of companies, and several other type of business. Of course, low risk include insurance. There are investment types of insurance where even it serves as a cover, and yet it gives you maybe 5% every year. Little returns. Treasury bills obviously falls under that. Bonds falls under that. So you should divide your money into those 3 asset classes. Right, the one you are putting into high risk, you are gambling. The chances it can work and it may fail. But the rule is that once it works, pull out, a good portion of what has come, the returns, and put it to mid and low. That's my own philosophy. Right, put it into mid and low, and gradually, what will happen is that the day, because at some point it will crash, Welcome, sir. So at some point, please have your seat. At some point it will crash, right? But the good news is that you will have made back the capital you put into that high risk, right? And you will have also gotten a good profit on the side, and your mid and low risk will continue to grow. Right, so that's my take on it. So I'm not against doing crypto or forex. My own goal is just you can't put all your money into a crypto or a forex. 99% of my money is in real estate. Of course, I put some little tiny into crypto, forex, little tiny into others. I'm big on insurance. I think it's very, very important. Of course, be careful of the type of insurance you do. So I don't believe in insurance that is only when I die I get something. So the type of insurance I do, if nothing happened to me, give me something every year, right? That's the type and I advise that you do, because an insurance should be like your lower type of investment. The benefit is that if something bad happens to you, a huge capital is released for your health care, right? If nothing happened to you, you are getting something small, on a regular basis. So it's technically a form of investment at the end of the day, because this insurance company are obviously using your money to do business, and if nothing happens to you, you deserve to get something on the side. I think it makes sense. But the rule again, like I shared in the book, make sure, by the way, feel free to pick any of the books. We are reviewing the books, right? But what's important is do not just jump into any business, and that's what I try to teach. Don't jump into any business without getting the knowledge. I think the challenge with people of color is we love to move with the crowd, and I think that's also another thing I shared in the book that is important that we work against. What has affected many of us, if I ask most of you here, because I believe you are from Nigeria as well.
Yes.
Particularly those of us from Africa. If I ask you now, if you want to buy a land, let's say in Nigeria, will you call your friend, your family members, or somebody in Nigeria? I believe if you all be honest, all of you say yes. Right? Okay, except for you that is a policewoman. Right? But most of us will say yes. Right? We want to call somebody and say, there's this company, advertising. What do you think about them? What do you know about them? Now, there's nothing wrong with doing your own investigation. But the problem is that you're doing your investigation most times with people who are not knowledgeable, who don't have results in that area. It's just a normal, common, when you get common sense, you get common result, right? And that's really our problem. So we don't look for a professional. Okay, this guy has made it in real estate, so when I want to invest in real estate, let me go and seek his counsel. This guy has evidence he's made it in crypto, or he's made it in buying shares, or he's made it, so let me go, even if I need to pay, let me go meet him or her and get some counsel. We don't do that. We just, my uncle, my brother, my siblings, my nephew, my church member, some even my pastor. or my imam. They even say, come and see, pray. Will the business work? And it's just totally ridiculous because not all pastors are into business. Now, if your pastor or your spiritual person is an entrepreneur, I get that, because at that point he's teaching you from his enterprising ideas and not necessarily ministry. But in many cases, the person doesn't even know anything about business, and you say you should start praying about something instead of going to meet a professional, right, in that field to guide you to. And even for me at my level, even when I still want to do certain type of business, my first rule is who is the expert in it that I can partner with, right? Till today, that's my rule. My Greek ventures, I'm always bringing my older brother. He's a billionaire in the agri sector. He exports a lot of agri commodities. So it'd be foolish of me to now say, okay, because I have money and I have a lot of land, I want to do agriculture, then I'm the expert. I'm not the expert, right? Partner with someone who is the expert, right? Again, it may mean you are partnering with some part of the profits or proceeds or whatever, but partner with someone who is an expert in that. So it has always helped me. Yes, sometimes my hands have been burnt. Sometimes I overpay. But guess what I realized? It's better to overpay than to lose the entire capital. You understand what I'm saying? It's better to overpay than to lose the entire capital. Always better to overpay. Yeah. So I hope I've answered your question. Okay, any more questions, contributions? Or yes.
Okay.
By the way, introduce yourself, your name, what you do, and yes, you can.
Okay. My name is Wasi Adesope. I work as a project manager at a non-profit in Chicago.
Okay.
I'm from Nigeria.
Are you related with one Adesope that owns Property Mart, Grenada, and so on? Is into
It's
real
possible.
estate?
I don't know him.
Well, you don't know him, okay.
So it's good to meet you and listen to what you hear.
You're welcome.
For me, my problem has been as a Muslim, I struggle with interest-based activities, and very recently I've been trying to explore like a non-conventional way of financing without interest. I know that capital has a cost, and, but how you price it and how you structure it in a way that it becomes faith friendly is what I would like to know if you do.
Such, incidentally, everywhere I've been going, everybody has been raising it. So our group CEO is a Pakistani and is a Muslim. So he's been an investment banker for over 20 years. So our last meeting was there, and he promised to work out something. And I've said, well, since he's a Muslim, he'll be in a better position to put together that. But I understand the basic concept of halal investment, which is you can, and I think I love it. And I remember somebody raised it too in that meeting, and our group CEO was there. So I said, I love it because if we make profits in the deal, then you make profit based on what you contributed. If we lose, then you lose. I like that because most investments, they are more like what we call debt syndication, which simply means whatever happens, like you've loaned the company money and you have to get your returns, right? And the halal type of investment just says that's not fair. It's just based on the principle of fairness, right? If you do an investment based on each person's contribution, whatever coming out of the profit, you share based on what everybody brought into the deal, right? And if we lose, then we all lose. So I like that, and I've told our group CEO, I'm sure in the next few weeks we'll announce, such an opportunity. Yes. However, I also will say you need to be as people of faith, and I'm a person of faith as well. But as people of faith, we need to be very open to what exactly is interest-based or what exactly is not interest-based. Dubai, for example, has opened my eyes to a lot of these things. In fact, I tell people that I'm a Christian, and I mean, we have a very huge investment in Dubai. We control over 200 properties in Dubai. And but why was I comfortable with Dubai? It's because it's a proof that religion can be used for good, you know, instead of just the way we play religion in Africa, right? Where religion is impeding growth.
Sure.
Right? And I don't know whether you understand. And so in Dubai, they've used religion to enhance growth instead of religion impeding growth. And what did they simply say is, well, if you are conservative, you are from Emirati or other GCC region, and you're very conservative, don't worry. It's a Sharia country, and you are bound by that Sharia law. But if you are from another religion, another faith, and you know, well, they even created a place called DIFC, and it's run by British law. So in that place, strictly British judges, British law, British everything. So your choice, right? And so with that level of flexibility, of course, they also now have Islamic banks who have all those, you know, strict rules. They have normal banks who still do profit. You know, you invest, you get returns, and they give you interest rate. So it's been able to help the country to grow really rapidly. Of course, yes, they don't believe in drinking alcohol, but hey, if you want to take alcohol, we put extra fine. So what has happened is alcohol, Dubai is one of the places that alcohol is most expensive in the world, right? So if you insist you still want to drink your alcohol, well, there's a lot of tax on it, and you have to pay a lot more. So I think Dubai has taught me that as people of faith, we should be very, very open, right, and try to understand exactly what our faith is trying to achieve with whatever is being said. Like in the case of halal investment, I believe it's just about fairness in the deal, right? That is the entire goal of that, to say it's not fair for you to insist you must collect interest if necessarily that interest didn't come. I don't know that you understand. So why not let it be equity based, where everybody gets based on the equity contribution that they made? So which is just good. I always say that even for those of us who are Christians, the whole issue of sin and not sin, if you look at all the laws, it's in our interest, right? Thou shalt not steal. It's more in your interest, because each time you still carry a baggage. There's a guilt. Even you don't feel good that you're a thief. So, right? So when you look at every of the law, it's even in man's interest than God's interest. Not as if the fact that now, whether you steal or you don't steal, it doesn't change God or affect God in any way. But it affects you one way or the other. Okay? I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay? Anybody else?
Yeah, what drives you into investing into real estate as your major cash cow?
Beautiful question. Very good question. So for me was, I feel real estate is one of the safest, if not the safest type of investment. And the reason why I say that is because, I give an example, if you trade Forex and you lose money in Forex, it's gone. Like, gone. Like, it's not as if you come back. Like, you can even lose money in buying a shares. Let's say Tesla shares comes down. There's hope that at some point it will still come up. You still own that share, right? If I buy real estate now, and they say the real estate market crash, okay, the house is still there. I can still come in and live there, right? It's a matter of time. At some point, it can come back up. But there are a lot of other types of investment where there's nothing to hold on to in the time of crisis. Like if you lose, it's all gone, right? Totally gone. So, and by rules, population growth will continue and continues to is not stopping, right? Population continue to grow all over the world, and the more the population continue to grow, the more people will need where to live, where to stay. So I just felt for me it was important to go that route. Also, it's important to also know that when you are dealing with a business where people trust you and they are committing their money with you. I mean, we have several people investing with us, millions of dollars, single investors investing 2 million, 3 million, 500,000, 100,000. You want to do the kind of business that you can sleep well at night, and if anything goes wrong, right? This year alone, that our company has done in refund is in excess of about $200,000, just to keep a good name. Right? We call it insult money in my office. You know. So, yes, you have a contract. Yes, this is what you agreed. But you see somebody wake up one day and say, well, I want to bury my mother-in-law, cousin, nephew. Right? Yes, I knew I bought land from you, but I need it back. Right? So, what we just do is to budget money to handle people like that. Because guess what? If you say, no, we sold land to you, this is what the contract says. Right? They start going on social media and say, yes, I know one scammer, number one scammer. Right? And guess what? Most times, those people watching that story are just hearing that name for the first time.
That's true.
Right? None of them will bother to ask for where is the evidence, what happened, what didn't happen, right? And you just have a bad name. So for some of us who have been able to build over 2 million followers and relatively have a good name, of course you have people who don't like you, that one is normal, but I've still kept a good name, is because we've had to build our business in such a way that in worst case scenario we can deliver on what we have promised, and we can keep our name. Because I grew up with that understanding that a good name is better than silver and gold. And so it's better to do business and you can keep your eyes closed. I guess you need water. You're welcome.
Thank you.
So it's for me it's important to so that's part of why real estate is critical for me. And another reason is also because real estate does 4 things. It's a way to make money, it's a way to manage money, it's a way to multiply money. Number 4 is a way to transfer money to the next generation. Now, most asset class don't do that for. Right? I'll give you an example. You can multiply your money with crypto. But guess what? You can't transfer it to the next generation. I've met people who have lost 2 Bitcoin. They have tried to retrieve it. They lost the password. They forgot the password, whatever, and gone forever. Forever. Right? And they bought it years ago. So, certain asset class cannot do those 4 things. Again, help you make money, help you manage money, help you multiply money. Then number 4, help you transfer it to the next generation. It's only in real estate that whoever brings the document of a property now is acknowledged the owner and is as good as can be sold and turned to money. Right? And it moves on. So the fact that real estate is well positioned to do that for me is part of why it is. But like I said, I teach on several other business opportunities, and I actually invest here and then in some of them. Just that majority of my assets is in real estate.
Question.
Yes.
I understand you said you have some investments in Dubai and some other parts of the world. Do you have anything doing in Chicago currently, or you guys are trying to do something in Chicago?
Chicago, no. The last time I was there was 8 years ago. nothing in Chicago. People have said Chicago is good, but for me, the rule one is to focus in one state. Texas, first of all, is my priority at the moment. We've done a few partnerships. We have a 20 unit of 3-bedroom townhouse in the state of Georgia that we're even selling at the moment. We also have some stuff in Alabama, but at the moment we are concentrating on Texas for the next few years. It doesn't mean 5 years from now we won't come to Chicago, but it's good to be. I've learned in business, okay, in America. America is good for you to focus on one state. If you look at Elon Musk now, he was in California, right? His board just approved that he should move to Texas, right? Even though he has done Gigafactory already in Austin, but now he has approval of his board to move all their companies, right, down to Texas. And I can't blame them because we know what's going on with California. People can come and rob your house, your office, and it's not, you can't shoot them according to B.
Well, the law probably said you can't shoot them.
Huh?
I don't know what the law in California is.
Oh, they say you can't shoot them. Like, even the police look at them as they, even if you arrest them, the law says you have to let them go again. So people break into stores, break into stuff. Yeah, that's what's going on in California. So a lot of businesses are just having to move out because the losses they're incurring is terrible. It's just ridiculous. And the law is the law. So they're running it aground. So America is very crazy. You really have to be sure you're in a state where, your law protects your business and the tax are reasonable. So at the moment I can trust. I'd always wanted to do New York, but the two states I can trust now in America that I've studied their tax and all of that is Florida and Texas for now. All right, and they're both Republican states. So don't ask me whether I'm Republican or Democrat. Which is another thing. A lot of us, people of color, our number one problem is immigration. So we tend to think towards the Democrats who promise us is a better immigration. Yeah?
I like Trump.
You like Trump also. You're my kind of person. I'm a Trump person as well.
Trump fan.
I'm a Trump person as well. But a lot of people are coming. Are you here for? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you.
Please come in.
All right. Hello.
Come in. If our men can be kind to help. Yes.
Thank you.
Do you want to join them here? Okay. Welcome.
Thank you.
So I think we people of color, most of us at least, have soft spot for Democrats. I think. I think number one is that the immigration policy favors immigrants, and a lot of people of color either immigrants or somebody who is an immigrant come. But as you begin to build your business, by the way, please, we have some of the books, you can feel free to pick them. There is country, but we're discussing some of them. But as you begin to become an entrepreneur and run business and understand how businesses work, right, what happens is that your beliefs begin to change politically. Now, you might not change your party, but you can understand certain, policies. So I give an example. I say I don't like Trump personality, as a person, but guess what? I like Trump's policies.
I agree.
You see the difference now. Now, a lot of people cannot separate the two. His personality, sometimes he talks in a way that it just doesn't make sense. We all can agree on that.
His personality overshadows his actions. So
Ye-
what people say is
He's narcissist.
So let's
we're
not
not gonna do that.
let's not go to the extreme. Remember, you want to go home tonight, and I'm sure you want to have good meal. Your wife is like strong.
We don't agree on some of these things, but that's just the
Yeah. But my own view is that
he speaks about it.
his personality you may not like. Like he says, a narcissist. I mean, you're free to rate him that way. But the policies are more of what you want to look out for. And I think as people of color, we have to begin to be conscious of these things. What are the policies as an entrepreneur, as an investor, right? Which policy favors me? I'll give you an example. Most Democrat states, a lot of us are not conscious of that. You pay more in taxes. By the way, it's Chicago Democrat or Republican? It's Democrat, right? So most Democrat states, you pay more in taxes. Like if you're in California, you will not believe how much you pay in taxes, right? If you're in New York, you will not believe. And it's almost like a law. Once a Democrat takes over, they increase the taxes. Sometimes they are claiming that they are targeting the business people, but guess what? It is still you, the professional, that your paycheck gets to reduce just by the fact that, hey, because guess what? The owner of your business will still put it on you. There's no way you tax a business. And sometimes I try to, like, this is common sense, but it's, when politicians put this thing together, they make it look sweet that there's no way you tax a business that the business will not reflect it on you, the employee. It's not. Abi, can someone help me here?
No, it makes sense.
Right?
Not even businesses, even like just like looking at restaurants as as a whole, like
Yeah.
when you tax them,
Yeah.
when you get like when
It's-
you get
exactly.
bills, they either tell you, oh, you're paying 20% this upfront, or
Exactly.
we're charging you an extra surcharge
Yeah.
for this and that. So it
So,
comes out.
yeah, it's still you at the end of the day. I mean, if you go to a restaurant in New York, you know how much you pay just in VAT, or you call it tax, on just that
Dallas is
food.
cheap. That's
You said?
true.
Texas.
I was
You
thinking
know.
to the Dallas is
Yeah, but if you go to Texas, you will almost be shocked at
cheaper.
how the bills, even Uber, you take an Uber in certain states, you're shocked at the price you're paying. You go to another state, same miles, and then it's coming down. So, but again, like I said, this is not a political conversation. Our focus is people of color have to start thinking of building wealth, right? And if we're going to be thinking of wealth creation, we can't be thinking of sentiments and emotions, and we can't just allow people wimp us up, and then we're just emotional. We have to be straight thinking and analyze exactly how things work. I'll give you an example. One of the things that changed my life is when I stopped seeing whites as racist, even if they are racist. If I need you for my business, right, I have to figure out a way we both find a way and we move on. I'm opening an office in Houston, and from day one you could tell that the agent was racist. In fact, when we got to see him, the first thing he looked at me and was like, "Where's Maggie?" Like, because I was black and he's white, and he just couldn't. Of course, a high-end kind of office. In his mind, I can't just afford it, right? So of course the agent came. She was like, "Oh, he's from Dubai. He has a big business in Dubai." Of course, at the end of the day, it was not nice after he had, we have a big business in Dubai and all of that. It became quite nice. But for me, I'm not going to allow his behavior to stand in the way of that good office I need to get. Right? I've seen many of us just throw away opportunities just because we're too conscious of there's racism, we're too conscious, and then instead of focusing, I'm here to get something. Right? Ultimately, when I get what I need to get, we can make progress and move forward. I remember listening to Arnold Schwarzenegger sharing his story, how he became California governor, right? And how he went to one particular meeting and literally a lady threw an egg on him. And the egg literally, if I went viral. And he just turned it to a joke. Now, will you say he wasn't pissed off? I mean, there's nobody you throw an egg on that person and he or she is happy. But if you got a way to turn it to a joke in that, and he went viral that, oh, they threw an egg on him and this was what he said. And he won the election and became her governor. And his decision affects her whether she threw the egg or not. But I think a lot of us as people of color, we are often moved by emotions. Hey, he's racist. Oh, see what they said. And all that gets in the way of what the exact thing we are supposed to go after, the exact businesses we're trying to build. I'll give you an example of one of the things I shared in this book called Billionaire Code. And I said, smart work, chapter 7, I talked about smart work. So I have a formula on how to become extra wealthy, and it's something I've seen my mentors do and I've done myself. And I call it hard work plus smart work plus network equals to success, or equals to multi-million, or equals to billion, whatever you want to call it. Again, hard work plus smart work plus network. Now, every one of us in this room is doing that one or two of that. Most of us in this room are not doing the three. Even me, it took me a long time to condition my brain to start doing the third one. And guess what? It's the third one that brings the highest kind of income. So hard work, and I'll use a practical example of a construction site. In a construction site, who works harder between the laborer and the foreman? The laborers. Who earn lesser? The laborer. Now, who works harder between the foreman and the supervisor? The foreman. Who earns more? Who works harder between the supervisor and the engineer? Who earns more? Who works more between the engineer and the contractor? Who earns more?
The contract.
Who now earns more between the contractor and the developer who actually, conceptualize the idea, right? The developer, right? Meanwhile, the contractor works more because he has to put all these people together, laborer, foreman. Now, guess what you notice as you go up that chain? From the supervisor, did you notice hard work stops? In fact, from the supervisor, hard work is reduced and smart work takes over. Did you notice that? In other words, the work the engineer is doing more than the supervisor is mental, it's not physical. Right? He calculates the drawing, he calculates the dimensions, isn't it? Very mental, isn't it? Right? And up and up. Now, what exactly does the developer do that the contractor does not do more? Networking. Because it is the developer who has aggregated a group of investors who gave him the multi-million, the financier, the lenders, that gave him the multi-million dollar that he had put together to now do that what? That construction. Am I making sense at all? Now, our ability to do the three defines what we are teaching in this book, what we call the billionaire habits. In fact, a good number of the conversation in Billionaire Habit and Billionaire Code had to do with helping you to master building relationship with wealthy people. Because you are average of these 5 closest people to you. If I ask all of you right now, you can try it. Thank God I don't know your friends. Go home tonight, send a text message to your friends if you are close enough to say, please, can you just give me an average of how much is in your account? Right? How much is your bank balance? you will notice that what's in your account is average. In other words, there may be few thousands lesser or higher, but it's average. Am I making sense at all? And try and change those friends to richer friends and give it another 1 year, and you start seeing that your finance will move up. So 2 things determines how rich you are: the books you read and the friends you keep. So if you are now serious about building wealth, the question is, how do you learn how to start making wealthy friends? Now, I'm not asking you to say, okay, well, all my poor friends, you don't matter, I don't care about you. That's not what we're saying here. Is that there is now intentionality to now start building relationship with wealthy people, so that, and here's the advantage of that, all of us are getting opportunities. The reason why it looks as if you don't have opportunities is because when the opportunity comes, you say, I can't afford it, there's no point, let's not even go there. You know, if the first thing you ask them how much, they tell you the price, they say, don't bother. Okay? The only reason why I am building an $82 million property in Dallas, Texas, right, is because I knew the 40, about 38 million that I need to build that project among my network. It wasn't that it's in my account, but in my network I could raise that money, right? If I couldn't raise the money, I'm not going to buy the land. I will not come up with the concept that some of you have probably seen, right? And now we're in the process of doing it. So it all begins with the network of people that you have, so that when you have this big opportunity, at least you have people who can finance it, people who can fund it, people who can invest in it, because that's what they do. So I tell people, I say, what do rich people do? They discuss ideas, they discuss investment, they discuss how to partner. What do poor people do? They discuss other people. Yeah? Didn't you hear your friend? Yeah? See the dressing she has. See what she said. See what they... so poor people discuss other poor people. Rich people come together like we're doing now. Right? And you see, when they say poor or rich, some people get emotional about it. It's a state of mind. Right? You may not have much in your account now, but you're already rich because your thinking has changed. And it's just a matter of time. You see it in your bank account. It will reflect in what's in your account. So my first time making my first million was the same thing I did. I said, you know what, I want to start making friends with millionaires now. Right? And it was difficult for me. Same thing with when I started becoming friends with billionaires. If I have a podcast show, it will come out soon. My first Nigerian billionaire, I interviewed him. And you guys will enjoy that conversation. Right? And for me, what he did, the guy never gave me money. Yes, we did businesses together. But he helped me to just have a real good perspective of what it means to be rich. Because many of us really do not understand what it means to be rich, except what we see or what people said about rich people. We really don't have it firsthand. For example, one of my mentors, his name is Cosmos Maduka. Right? I mean, he's a multi-billionaire in dollars. He has the franchise to Rolls-Royce, what do you call it? BMW. In fact, he has a Ford assembling plant in Nigeria. Right? Cosmos Maduka. Only for me to meet this man, and then I started going to his house. I remember the first time I went to his house, imagine the man who sells all the exotic cars in most of Africa. Right? What will you be checking if you go to such a man's house? His garage. In your mind, the latest Rolls Royce for sure. I mean, if anybody drives Rolls Royce and they bought it in Nigeria, this is the man that sells it. And I went the first time, I didn't see anything like that. So I felt maybe they drove it out or somebody. The second time, the third time. So when I was doing an interview, I have a show called Investment Chat in the Rolls Royce. So he was my guest on the show. So I had to brace it up. I said, what's going on? I checked your garage. I didn't see any exotic car. You sell these cars. And he laughed. I said, well, years ago, he used to be car freak. He was big on, he loved BMW, but as he grows up, those things don't, freak him again. Now, do you see now, suddenly, you have a new perspective that being a wealthy person is not all wealthy people that flashes, and the definition is not by showing off, really. Am I making sense at all? Yeah. So, and those things begin to help you to reset your priorities. One of those billionaires came to my house. I had moved to a new house, so I invited him, my first Nigerian billionaire. I had moved to a new house. I felt the house was decent enough, unlike where I used to live, that I couldn't bring someone like that. So I invited him. To my surprise, he came with Uber. So I had to like, what's going on? And he said something powerful. He said, my mentor told me functionality before luxury. He said I needed to visit so many places, and I felt Uber was going to be better for me than, I said, okay. So I hope this conversation makes sense. Suddenly now I know that what makes me a billionaire is really the business I'm controlling and not the exotic cars. Do you see? It suddenly takes off unnecessary pressure of thinking that it is when I now start buying this kind of cars, I wear this gold chain, that's when people will now know, yes, the billionaire has arrived. Or that's what will make fellow billionaires know that I've arrived. Now I'm realizing that these so-called billionaires are not even under any pressure. Right? So it begins to shift, and that's why you want to start making those friends. Right? So I share in the book, how do you meet them? Go to where they go. Play the kind of games they play. I didn't even know what is golf. I didn't like golf, but when I heard rich people play it, I had to start playing golf. And today now I like it. It's quite addictive. And I've met some of the wealthiest people at the golf course. And what I love about it is that everybody's equal on the golf course. You can talk to anybody on the golf course and you are all equal and you respect each other. It's a very respectful game. Right? So, and nobody's going to say, hey, who are you? No, it's not done on the golf course. There are rules to it. So go to those places where you can meet wealthy people and begin to learn. The rule is just don't allow anybody intimidate you. Work on your own self-esteem, because that's really where the problem is. Right? When I started moving with some of them, I used to feel a bit, because when they start mentioning figures, showing me a lot. So this my billionaire friend, despite that he came with Uber, my wife prepared chicken and we're eating. I say, I said January, I said good news. I wanted to say bad news. Some of you believe that January things are low. I used to have that belief, things are tight January. Yeah. So when I said January, I want to say bad news, tight season, things are dry. But when I said January, it was a good news. The 2 of our project was just approved, is into construction. He said one is for 1.4 billion, the other is for 4.3 billion. They now started showing me a lot. So the mobilization fee of one was 700 and something million. If I had to say, yes, me too, something is coming up, But since that year, that was the last time I had a bad January. In fact, now I have more money in January than any other season. Because I got to realize that I do land business, even in Nigeria as well. I realized that January, particularly in Nigeria, most Nigerians, and I think in US as well, most people have wasted their money in December. Right? Dating the December. They call something dating December. Right? They've wasted their money and they're desperate for cash. Kids need to go back to school. There's so many bills. So I intentionally save up for January. So property I told you to sell to me at $1 million, you said no, I must bring 1.5. Then I dangle. In fact, this time I dangle $500,000. Like I have the cash. What do you think? Right? Suddenly you have to accept it. Right? And I'm able to get some of the best deals. But my point is that if I didn't start associating with wealthy people like that, the mindset will shift. You know, and my finances also will shift. Today now, me and that guy, we are wealthy together now. Right? So, but it took me a few years to learn and just understand that it's about, and that's why the book is about habits. The book is not about making billions, about habits, that's what we call billionaire habits. It's the habits you pick up first. Your habit determines your decisions. Your decisions determines your destiny. Let me say it again. Your habits determines your what? Your decisions. And your decisions determines your what?
Your destiny.
Your destiny. So, please help me with the door. So there's no man or woman who can make the right decisions until they start the right habits. Right? So it begins with the habits. Hello, sir. Always a welcome. Good evening, welcome. Thank you. If you don't mind, you can manage on this stool here. Right? It's so I do this meet and greet. The goal is, it's a cozy, tight, just conversation amongst ourselves. And as I travel, I'm off to London, to Manchester actually. But it's good to just, as I travel now, I try to do meet and greet in cities that I touch. It's my own way of giving back. Most times I don't charge for it, and it's just opportunity to share what I know and get to meet good people like yourself, and I'll get to know each other. So sorry it's not a big haul, or because the goal is, say, whoever is able to come. It's usually short notice if you have noticed. You know, it's a 2-3 day thing that you get to see it, and so whoever is able to make it. So it's not usually a proper seminar, except for a few places like Glasgow. Was, even though the notice was short, the registration was over 100 people, so we had to get a venue for it and things like that. So, welcome. Thank you. So yes, so basically that is it. Any more questions? So you have opportunity if you want to get the book. It goes for $47 on Amazon, but today you can have it for $25, and then if you are taking the entire 6, you can have it for $150. So I'm doing a bonus. I'm giving you the audio version and the ebook for free. Then how many of you have heard of my online e-learning platform? We call it Steve Acta University. So you're already there. So it's Stephen Akintayo University. So it has a lot of my video content. All my life work is on the platform, and that of my mentors. So Grant Cardone, Robert Kiyosaki, Les Brown, John Maxwell, Brian Tracy, who else? Damian John. I hosted all of them, and so their courses are also there. So you're able to watch the video course. You take some quizzes, and you even get certificate on each quiz, right? And there are over 1,000 courses there. So it goes for $247. But what I've been doing is, if you're getting all the books, you also get 1 month access for free on the university. But you need to put down your name and email so that my team will just send you the login details, as well as the download link to the audio and the soft copy. Okay. So yes, any more questions? Sorry to those of you who joined us late. We've gone, I think, I don't do African time. I start exactly 6. So we've gone a long way before you join. But it would be good to know you guys. So tell us your name, what you do. Yes, so let's start with you.
I'm Judy, and I'm a nurse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you from? What country?
I'm from Kenya.
Kenya. How's Ruto? He's born down the parliament.
They're about to take him out. The Gen Z. You seen the riots?
Yes, it's all over the news. And I always visit Kenya. Every year I visit Kenya like 3 times. So I love it in Kenya.
Yeah.
I have a Kenya business
business partner. We just traveled to Kenya with the grandkids
Oh,
about a few days ago. Javi, she's 73.
oh,
Yeah.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
She just traveled to Kenya with the grandkids, and I don't know what's going on right. I just
No,
feel like
they will be fine. I mean, they did it last year as well. There was heavy
It's just the
protest.
street. It's just in the city. But
Yes,
out in
there is heavy protest like that last year as well. I think my advice to Ruto is he needs to Rola Odinga is his opponent, and I don't know how he did it. Rola Odinga is very old, but his fan base are young people, and so for Ruto, he's angry because he knows that these are largely his opponent's fans who are pushing all of this, but unfortunately, he has no choice. Yes.
Well, my name is Stephanie. I'm actually a business analyst, but right now I'm training to become an integrative coach.
Oh, nice, nice. Where are you from?
Nigeria.
Nigeria. Okay. Nice. Welcome. Yes, sir.
Yeah, my name is Victor Odekina. I'm from Nigeria. I just started my own company 2 years ago, Kela Financial Services. I'm a licensed for insurance, financial professional, so insurance and fixed index annuity and all that.
Okay. Fine. Insurance.
Yes.
Oh.
Life insurance. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
That's good. Yeah.
That's
What is
good.
good for you?
Thank you.
Yeah. Though it's not a new copy, but you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
What will the Rockefellers do? Yeah, funny enough, Rockefeller is one of my role models. So I really like J.D. Rockefeller.
Yeah.
It's a great guy. Thank you for the book. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Okay. Yes. Any more question? And then you can sign the book for those of you who want. I'm able to sign it. We take pictures as well, and then we can be on our way. But if you still have questions, please let me know. Or contribution. Anyone? It's got those of you just join us. We're good?
What do you advise us in the diaspora to do? For those of us who want to be successful, we're super proud of you.
Thank you.
Looking at where you're coming from, and you are a great inspiration to so many young people.
Thank you.
And so many of us here came here with the dream of becoming financially free, not just to work. You know, so what is that singular advice you have for us?
Unfortunately, there's no singular advice. I wish I can give you one singular advice, but honestly, it's difficult to put 16 years, and at least our company started with $10, 1,000 Nigerian naira, 16 years ago. We control hundreds of millions of dollars worth of real estate asset today across the globe. So the honest truth is that you can't put all that has happened in that 16 years in just one thing, but I can, and I think everybody should listen. If you can take note of this, please do. 3 things I can summarize them in, particularly for those of you here. Number 1 is go and learn how to sell. Go and learn how to sell. Right? Go and learn how to sell. America is a capitalist society, and only salespeople go far. Only salespeople.
Yeah, that's part of what we're doing with the financial services.
Yes,
We can recruit people all over the US.
Yeah,
Sell.
because when you look at even politics, you know why Washington still hates Donald Trump? It's because nobody could believe this guy would just come out of nowhere and then become president. Like, who does that? But what they underrated was that the guy is a salesman. He's a salesman. He just understands the numbers, and he knows what to say to the numbers. Right? And he's playing this game based on numbers. Most people don't know the scientific analysis Donald Trump has to what he's doing. The same guy that wants to ban TikTok suddenly is a fan of TikTok. He knows where the numbers are. right? So, how many African Americans are angry now that younger African Americans want to vote Trump? Like, some parents are like, kill me before my son will vote Donald Trump. And they don't know how he won their children's heart. It was TikTok. The guy is a salesman. So if you're going to be rich in this part of the world, you just have to master the art of selling. That's just how it's going to work. AI cannot replace selling, sir. It will not, particularly high-ticket sales. Nobody is still going to, in the next few, at least, I can assure you, for the next 10 years, nobody will want to invest $10 million and rely on AI to convince them to put in $10 million. So your ability to be able to sell, for me, is how you're going to be wealthy. I mean, you're a medical doctor. I met this Nigerian couple in Florida, and you won't believe the entire, southern Florida, they built an hospital, and it's the best hospital in that entire region. I was like, I told the woman, I said, you are the kind of people I want to be meeting in this America. Right? Because yes, you're a professional, but you've gained the courage to gather yourselves together and build an hospital. Of course, it's not been easy for her and her husband, but she did it. Right? So, but I can assure you, she wouldn't have built that kind of big hospital that is the biggest in the whole southern Florida or so, without the ability to sell. Because you have to go and convince people to say, I'm building the best hospital here. Can you invest 100,000? Can you invest 200,000? And guess what? Guess who has that 100,000 and 200,000? Fellow doctors. But it just takes one doctor to be courageous enough, master the art of selling enough to convince his fellow doctors to say, put your money together. Right? I will give you this return. Am I making sense at all? So that would be number one skill. You must learn the art of selling. You must learn the art of selling. Right? And selling is not as difficult as you think. By the time you are done reading books like this, I promise you, you will have turned to a salesman without even knowing, or a saleswoman without even knowing. Because selling is about conviction. Selling is about showing value of whatever it is you're trying to sell, right? Rather than come and buy. A lot of people think selling is about come and buy, right? Selling is just, hey, this is the value. It's just like the book now. It's impossible for you to want to live here without this book, except you don't have the money. Now, have I done conventional selling to you? No. I only just shared with you what I put in the book. Am I making sense at all? And I'm leaving you to make your decision whether you want it or not. So, selling isn't that difficult the way we look at it. It's just show me the value and leave people to make their choice. I mean, at the end of the day, they will realize that it's in their own best interest to buy whatever it is or invest in whatever you're doing. So that's number one that I advise those of us in Africans in diaspora. Please, whatever you do, master selling. And I'll give you an assignment. If you can practice, I promise you it will be helpful. Start watching or use 1 hour every day to read a book on money, or watch a YouTube video on money or selling. Either of the two, finance, money, selling. Just focus on those topics, right? Either a book, like I said, for those of you getting all the 6 books, you get the audio. So if you are too busy that you can't even read, you can just be listening to the audio. Just focus, just dedicate 1 hour every day. I still do it today. In fact, every day I put myself on 2 to 3 hours. Either for me, I add management to it because I run a large organization and it's in different parts of the world. So mastering, and I have 7 CEOs I have to deal with. So trust me, my biggest problem is people, and my biggest asset is also people. So mastering the art of management and leading people and all that. So I add that too. So I study on leadership, study on management, study on money still, but study on sales up till today. The second thing I advise that you do is what I've shared earlier. I mean, those of you who are here earlier, is an assignment. Give yourself the next 6 months to make your first 7 multi-millionaires in America. Friends with 7 multi-millionaires in America. In this Chicago, there are people who are worth $50 million, $100 million. They live in some ranch somewhere, some big house somewhere. As long as you can manage your, how do I call it the word? So, my new house in Houston that I just bought is 3.2 acres. You can either come there and admire that I have 3.2 acres, or you can come there and hate me for having too much acreage and think my head is not correct for wasting such land or whatever. But once you can manage your own emotions, because as you become friends with those people, they want to invite you to their house, and mind you, extremely wealthy people want to be your friend first before investing in you. One of the things that rich people hate the most is for you to just come to them and asking for money or asking for business or asking. They want to build friendship first. I want to know you first. Right? I don't want everything to just be, oh, come and invest in my business. Come and partner with me. Come and you know why they hate that? That's what they get all the time. Everybody is after them for something. So if they can see you genuinely build relationship, right? There's a way it just makes them feel that somebody cares genuinely. Am I making sense at all? And beyond just about what to get and all of that. And how do you build friends with these rich people? Gifts, right? What he did now, I probably will remember his face more than the rest of you here, right? Now, is it that I can't buy myself the book? Okay, but just that thoughtfulness to say, oh, this man is hosting us, let me just go with a book. It's something, maybe he has read my book or heard me teach about this. Have you?
No, but I've watched a couple of your videos.
And you heard me teach about it? About gifts?
No, I've not.
So you just pick it up on your own. That's impressive. Because I teach it a lot. One of the best ways to connect with wealthy people, go with a gift. So like I said, some of us should start learning golf and start going to where rich people are. Don't go there empty-handed. You can go with, something that you just can share. Hey, I came with, soda or bottle of, it's as simple as those little gestures. And the person just picks an interest, right? So gift is one of those, and it's one of the ways I've done it. I've networked with powerful people in this world by just gifts. Powerful people. I say powerful. Even how do I meet Grant Cardone? Grant Cardone has over $5 billion worth of real estate asset here in the US. It was the same. I just use gifts. Right? I just use gifts. Right? So you must master how to. So assignment number 2, right? 7 multi-millionaires in Chicago, right? That you will be their friend. And I'm not talking about that you want to be their friend, that they can look at you and say, you are my friend. So by the time by the way, don't bother yourself. You say, I don't know how. Read the Billionaire Habits and Billionaire Code. I detailed how to become a friend of a rich person. It's very detailed there. Right? So the whole process is detailed. But please do yourself a favor. Between now and December, be a friend to 7 multi-millionaires. Go to their house. Invite them. Don't say my house is 2-bedroom. Invite them. And you'll be shocked they are not as... Because sometimes we are looking for different things. Am I making sense at all? We're looking for different things. The people who have visited their house in Houston are not the richest. One of them is like an adopted sister. She lives in a 2-bedroom. I've been to her house many times than the rich ones that I know that lives in mansions. Right? So, sometimes we have this stereotype about wealthy people and successful people that we just think, who am I? You know, and that's why I say you have to work on your own self-esteem so that you are not the one blocking the flow of that relationship. You must convince yourself, I have value to offer this relationship. My value may not be equal to what they bring, but I have value to offer. And I must also be willing to accept a no. Because one thing successful people are good at is giving you a no. Right? And guess what? As long as you can master how to take a no and know that no means next opportunity. Right? And not take it personal. So someone say, I can't make it for an event this month. Next month, invite me for another.
The Kenyan lady I told you about, she's a multi-millionaire. You know, she still works, but she's been working for several years at 73. And I've learned a whole lot from her. You know, I've learned a whole lot from her. She too has learned quite some stuff from me, you know. And on her own, I was asking her to invest in one stock. On her own, she gave me some money to buy and invest for without even asking her.
You see?
You know.
So, but it begins with just being willing to build that relationship and working on yourself so that you don't feel, oh, the reason he said no is because I'm not rich. The reason he said, you know, sometimes we just carry these things in our mind, you know, they are going to treat me this way, they're going to talk to me this way. I don't think so. So, number 2, 7 rich people to be your friend. Number, what? Number 3. Okay, by all means, in this America, start investing in assets. By all means, start investing in assets. Paper asset is good, real estate is good, but please and please stop just paying taxes and making the government rich. Right? Because that's what you do when you don't invest. Right? That's what you do. When you use your money, you buy a car, you made everybody rich except yourself. Am I making sense? Don't? You made everybody rich except yourself. So you must just start investing in assets. It has to be a priority. I give an example. I just bought a multi-million-dollar house, yet all the cars I'm getting here in the US, I'm leasing them. From Rolls Royce to G-Wagon I'm leasing everything. Why? Just makes sense. Yeah. 1, I'm writing it off as a business expense. 2, why will I and it doesn't even make sense to me. If I lease a car, in 3 years I can go and exchange it for a new one. If I buy a car, right, in 3 years, even if I'm financing it, right, I still have the liability and I can't flip it the way you flip a lease.
Sorry.
Yes.
Tell me about you leasing a car.
I think white folks, several years ago, we met a couple of white folks like this guy, and we thought they are mad.
So instead of
my neighbors do that every year they have a new car.
Yeah. So basically, instead of outrightly paying to whether you are financing your car, you can decide to say I'm leasing it, right? So you it's almost like a technical renting.
So technically, like you make. So usually with
You make payment,
you
but
make
you
payments
don't own
not
it.
to own it.
Not to
Yes.
own it, yeah.
So that's what it is. So with
Yes.
you make payments so you can like swipe it.
Yes. So you don't own it. The bill is, but the car is yours. You drive it. I mean, for as long as you want the lease. If you want the lease forever, it's there. If you want,
You're limited the amount of mileage you can ride though.
No, it depends. It depends on the type of lease. If you go to direct, car company and I say, hey, I'm leasing it for a certain number of years, it's different from your normal, I get to Chicago airport and I go lease a car for 1 day or 2 days. That's not what we're talking about. You go to, like, you want to buy a proper car, but this time around, you are telling them instead of putting, full purchase on it, it's a lease agreement. Right? But these are just ideas about prioritizing. So for me, the house is going to give me equity. You see how I'm analyzing it? Then I'm putting, that's why it's 3.2 acres. I'm putting a tennis court. I'm putting a golf range. So, and it's a new business model for me. So my goal is I buy a house, I of course with enough acreage, then put certain amenities that typical houses will not have, like a tennis court, like a golf range, and just turn it to a kind of special type of house. And just like, listen, 2-3 years I sell it, I buy another one, do the same thing there, and I will have made almost double what I used to buy it in the first place. Right? So a lot of wealthy people have a way. You will be seeing them, they have a private jet, but you'll be shocked that the private jet is generating more money than what they used to buy the private jet. And this thing, like I say, you know, is you can only learn it informally, because there's no book where these things are written. Is as you begin to build relationship with wealthy people that you learn it. But you must begin to prioritize assets, because trust me, time is not. This system sucks you in, right? And if you're not careful, 30 years is gone, and you've not built anything for yourself and your children, right? 30 years is gone, and it's a rat race, and it's just a circle, and it's a vicious circle. So, and I'm happy you are hearing this in the first few months of moving here. So one must be very, very intentional about decisions in this part of the world, exceptionally intentional, right? So begin to invest in assets, learn it. Even if it's okay, every month I commit to $500, I'll be buying fractional shares. I'll download Fidelity app, or I'll download Robinhood app. I'll link it with my card, and $500 every month, or $1,000. Just force yourself. It's not easy, but you have to just break that circle and build the habit of majority of my money, everything I'm putting my money into is an asset.
Some of the basic principles we try to educate people.
By the way, don't worry, I marketed your business before you came.
Okay.
Insurance is one of the things I mentioned, particularly the investment types.
Yeah.
You know, is one of the things I mentioned that people have to learn to do, because I'm tired of people of color. You know, the last meet and greet I did in Dallas, the pastor was there, said, it's so bad, members will die. First of all, they don't have the money to take the corpse of the member home. Now, they are now doing that. The first time he as a pastor has ever done GoFundMe was because of a member that died, that they couldn't even raise $10,000. And the least burial you can do here ahead is like 10,000.
Yeah.
Right, 10,000-15,000.
No,
Yeah, the cheapest is like
10,000.
Yeah.
That's cremation.
Yeah, the cheapest are
You will still get
you could still see a grave. Yeah, you know. So in Dallas, he said the cheapest they got was 10,000.
Yeah.
Right, and he had to do GoFundMe for the member that died. And so, and all those things are just because it's simple insurance. He said now he had made it mandatory. Church member, you must be insurance. Because it's just, these are simple things
A number of
that,
people that
you know, and then you die, and then it's not another liability on the people you left behind. Meanwhile, when a lot of these white people died, you know that they've used this insurance thing to leave wealth for the next generation. Right? So the next generation is not starting from scratch.
Not at all.
And because there is a 500,000, there's a 2 million, there's a, you know, ready for them to pick up their life from there.
That's very
So I've marketed, don't worry, I've marketed your business. You know, I'm not into insurance, so if you want to talk to him, you can talk to him, he's into that. But I just think generally these are right things to just do that you don't joke about when it comes to, well, sometimes people, who knows, here somebody has cancer and then we're starting to raise money, and if I have cancer today, God forbid, the first money that I release is $250,000 for my medical expenses based on just one of the insurances that I've done. Right? So it's important for us to take things like this very, very serious. Okay. Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate you, and it's really nice having you guys and getting to talk and knowing each other. So who wants to help me with those who are buying the books? You help me with their names, email, phone number. Do you want to help me with that? Okay. And they can pay to you as well. A sheet of paper. And let's see. Put that somewhere.
Is it write the names on the phone or something?
Okay, on the phone, Abby? Yeah, so they can just send it, type the names and I'll move from there.
Should I?
Yes, you can, anybody can, if you want to handle. So you want to handle it? Okay.
Oh, you have a sheet of paper.
No, it's not.
Oh.
Can I use your email? Yeah, so name, email, phone number, that's it. Which of the book are you going
We can use this, it might be better.
No, the soft copy.
Yeah, the soft copy.
So you can bring whatever you're getting. Let me sign it for you and we'll take pictures. Those of you watching us online, thank you for watching.
Just email and
Chicago.
Do they have their phone number?
Name, email, and phone number, yes. So, Love You Chicago. You can go to Amazon to get the book if you want. Love You.
Yes.
Yes. All of it is $150. Yes, all of it is $150.